Good morning, my dear students, my dear Rajeshwarians, my dear brothers and sisters of Rajeshwar, my dear pupils of class 8A, B, and C. This is once again your friend, philosopher, and guide, your mentor, your English teacher, Prabhat Sharma, with you once again. And today again, we do section 2 from the journey to the center of the earth. It belongs to Unit 4, Unlikely Destinations. Name of a book, as I have already mentioned several times before you, Revised New Pathways by Oxford Publications, Oxford School Education. To be more precise, the name of the publication house. So, Oxford New Pathways, which is an interactive course in English. The name of the lesson, story, which we are going to continue, is Section 2, From Journey to the Center of the Earth. Excuse me, dear. I am having a mild cough. Please bear with me. So, you have to read the story. This is page number 98. Read an excerpt from the novel Journey to the Center of the Earth, which is about a German professor of geology and mineralogy named Lindenbrook and his nephew Axel Lindenbrook, who believe that there are volcanic tubes going towards the center of the earth. They have read about this in the book by Arne Seknussems, who was a scholar from the 16th century who had traveled to the center of the earth and recorded instructions on how to reach it. So they are accompanied by Hans, who is an Icelandic guide. So there was uncle and nephew and a guide with them. तीन लोगों की कहानी है. There are three characters seen in picture also. So they come across numerous adventures, including extinct animals and natural perils. They see those gigantic, okay, elephant-like creatures. So when he says, yes, I could see those enormous elephants whose trunks were tearing down large boughs and working in and out the trees like a legion of serpents. I could hear the sounds of the mighty tusks uprooting huge trees. Okay, so you can see there was a man who was about 12 feet tall, okay, who was a giant and who was capable of guiding and driving these giant monsters. And his height, as I have told you, was about 12 feet. His head as big as the head of a buffalo. He was lost in a mane of matted head. So he was lost in a mane of matted hair. It was indeed a huge man, those like which belonged to the elephants of the earlier ages of the world. And you can see in his hand was a branch of a tree which served as a crook for the prehistoric shepherd. We remain, so those scientists, the nephew and the guide, they will remain profoundly still speechless with surprise. Okay, उन्होंने ऐसा नज़ारा जीवन में देखा नहीं था. And they move on, move on, move on. Okay. In the grotto. Grotto, what is grotto? It is a small cave. And they are seeing the kind of complete panorama of the events, of the view, but all things they have seen. Panorama is a complete view of the whole surrounding region. So it's very difficult. They keep on moving. The promontory, a long narrow area of high land that goes into the sea. So they see many singular events or things. Singular मतलब unusual, अनोखा, स्ट्रेंज, जो कभी होता नहीं है नॉर्मली, उसको सिंगुलर कहा है कि उसके जैसा दूसरा कोई नहीं हो सकता है. So the uncle and the nephew are very much astonished, surprised, taken aback. They are in tacticum. Means they are tending not to speak much. They are speechless. एक से कैसे नज़ारे देखते उनसे बोलते नहीं बनता, समझते नहीं बनता कि क्या है आखिर. What they are seeing, what they are looking for. Okay. आखिरी में they see a dagger. Okay. There is an unusual dagger with a strange shape, size. And the uncle says we are now on the verge of a great discovery. And the blade of this dagger, which has been marvelly discovered by the nephew, and after being abandoned upon sand for more than 100 years, has been invented by some endeavoring to carve an inscription on the rocks. And who has the dagger? Nothing like else. And even this dagger, they cannot go there by itself. So there was a man who has written his name, this very dagger, a man who has endeavored once more to indicate the right road to the interior of the earth. Let us look around. The uncle says, the main scientist says, my boy, you know not the importance of your singular and happy discovery. ये कितनी बड़ी डिस्कवरी है, कितनी महान डिस्कवरी है. ही सेस ये डैगर जो मिला है और इससे ये लेटर कहे गए हैं AS. So they were extremely interested and they walked along the wall of the rock, examining the smallest fissures. What do you mean by fissures over here? So fissures are long, deep cracks in the cave. So they at last reached a spot where the shore became extremely narrow. The sea almost bathed the front foot of the rocks. Okay. And which were here very lofty and steep. There was scarcely a path wider than 2 yards at any point. So at last, under a huge overhanging rock, they discovered the entrance of a dark and gloomy tunnel. There, on a square tablet of granite, they could see two mysterious and much worn letters. And the two initials of the bold and extraordinary traveler had preceded them on their adventurous journey. AS, cried the uncle. You see, I was right. Arne Saknussemm. So Arne Saknussemm was a person or a scientist or a writer who had been to the center of the earth earlier, and now these scientists, his uncle and the nephew, along with the Iceland guide are the second ones. The story written by Jules Verne. Shall I tell you something about Jules Verne? Okay. Jules Gabriel Verne, born in the year 1828, survived till 1905, was a French author who pioneered the science fiction genre. He is best known for his novels 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was published in 1870, and another one, you all know, Journey to the Center of the Earth, which was written in 1864. The last but not the least was the novel and the science fiction, which name was Around the World in 80 Days. That was written in 1873. Savani wrote about space. He wrote upon air. He wrote about underwater travel. And to such an astonishment and a great surprise you will be. So Verne wrote about space, air, and underwater travel before even air travel and practical submarines were invented. Okay, and before practical means of space travel had been devised. उस जमाने में उन्होंने लिखा है जब ये सब चीजें होना ही नहीं था. Okay, so initially we see the three men who were walking on the bones. Then they come to see the mastodons, and towards the end, they find out a dagger. Okay, and the dagger was of somebody who was carved as a G on the rocks, and it was none other than Arne Saknussemm, who was a scholar from 16th century. So for the time now, thank you all once again. Goodbye. Good luck. Do take care of yourself. Thank you very much.